G'day everybody, I'm Noppers. Welcome to another one of my historical naval battles from World War II, being held in the game of World of Warships. This particular battle this evening is the Battle of Savo Island, which occurred on the 8th to the 9th of August 1942. So this was again the Japanese and the Allies going toe-to-toe in Iron Bottom Sound area. It was a night battle. The short version of it was that the Japanese semi-surprised the Allies, and the Allied forces, a lot of them were actually fast asleep. I'll show you in the map shortly what was happening. The Allies didn't come out of this too good. I lost a few ships of particular note. I'm an Aussie, so the HMAS Canberra was sunk at the end of this. She was scuttled. Anyway, this was another one of those battles that was one of the battles that proved that the Japanese had the superiority in night fighting in particular. Lots of torpedoes and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, here we have the map. You can see the ships that were involved, and I would just draw your attention to a couple of things. Just northwest of Savo Island you can see Blue and Ralph Talbot, their destroyers. Then you've got Northern, Eastern and Southern Force, and those three forces were the split up of the actual Allied defensive area for the transports that you can see listed that were unloading. So what actually occurred? Well, the Japanese sailed through and passed the Talbot and the Blue. There was some discussion in some of the notes I read about the Japanese actually sailing past the Jarvis and looking down onto its decks and not seeing anyone. They were like 1,100 meters away. Who knows what that was all about. But USS Patterson, which I'm sailing here, the equivalent of it, was out in front. It was an alert ship. This is a nighttime battle. It was an alert ship about 1:30 in the morning, and he spotted the crew spotted the Kurigasa. About 5,000 meters ahead, rather, and sent a warning, strange ships entering the harbour. Now, Patterson increased to full speed, fired star shells, and that's what I'm sort of simulating here in the Smith that I'm driving. Captain ordered a torpedo attack, but nobody actually heard that. It was a bit funny. And about the same time this was happening, flares were dropped over Canberra and Chicago. Canberra responded immediately, went to increase in speed, turned, and Shokai and Furitaka opened fire on the Canberra, scored a number of hits. Aoba and Keiko joined in, and there was up to 24 large caliber hits. And the Canberra was a bit unlucky. It took a few hits in the wrong way. The gunnery officer was killed straight away and so on. Boiler rooms were both not destroyed, and the entire ship lost power. What was fascinating though was the Chicago saw the elimination. Then they had to wake the captain up from a sound sleep, and the captain fired star shells, which didn't actually work. And not long afterwards, a torpedo hit Chicago's bow, took out the main battery director. A second torpedo hit, failed to explode. Some crew were killed, and Chicago turned and bolted. Left behind the transport she was trying to protect. Shot a few times, but running. And the captain he was the overall commander in the area, didn't try to assert control over any of the other Allied ships. He didn't warn them, and he just left, which was amazing. You can see there that I've died. Well, that's simulating the Patterson. Patterson got pretty much smashed, and then things got a bit worse, because, as was frequent in these times, friendly fire happened. Torpedoes were going all over the place. Bagley may have torpedoed Canberra, we're not actually sure. It got fairly complex. You can see the Morse code coming up there in the chat box. There's that message, warning, strange ships entering the harbour, as the guys were talking about in the Discord chat we had. That was one of the messages. The Morse code, if you go and look at it, it's actual Morse code from the battle. One of the guys was clever enough to actually go and research it and got that information and put it on there for me. It's really cool. So all of these messages were actual messages relayed during the battle. You can see with the battle itself here, the Allies are getting absolutely flogged, and that's kind of what I wanted to happen when I set this up, because that's what it would have felt like at the time. They're trying their best, but they're hopelessly outmatched. So this was just the style of things for the Allies back in the early parts of the Guadalcanal campaign. The Allies kept getting hammered by the Japanese early on. The end result of it all, of significance for historical reasons or historical context, the commander of the Chicago ended up committing suicide, which is pretty sad, but that's, I told you the story about what happened there before. The HMAS Canberra was heavily damaged, but it was still okay, but it couldn't keep up with the main fleet. So the overall commander, ordered the Canberra to be scuttled, and I think it took 5 torpedoes and 300 hits. That's pretty shitty. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Catch you next time.